We tried doing the peaches, we tried doing pumpkins and corn, and just everything failed. So while I was on orders in California, I saw a lavender farm. And for me, I always associated lavender with the color or the soap or shampoo, whatever, a laundry detergent. But for whatever reason, I never pictured a lavender farm, and I'd never been to France or anywhere like that where I'd seen one before. So I asked the million-dollar question, what is lavender farming? And, I discovered an 8-acre farm was routinely making well over $1 million a year, right? So you're thinking, wow, that's incredible. I want to do that. So, 8 acres, $1 million, you're looking at small farms. It was said that lavender is one of the most profitable alternative cash crops for small farmers. So on a quarter of an acre, you could probably turn a greater profit off of lavender than any other type of crop throughout the United States. So then my next question is, okay, well, how did they do it? If you're a farm and you're making $1 million, how did you do it? Because you didn't do it making $6 soaps. Well, the thing about lavender's marketability is that people will pay money to do photos, you can do weddings, you can do Airbnbs, as well as the many products. You have oils, the floral waters, all the way through pretty much culinary. In fact, its uses are so endless that it's only limited by your imagination. And the health benefits are just, it's vast. So the marketability of it, you can sell to pregnant women as well as like the elderly. Whereas like someone was asking me, well, why didn't you get into, selling like CBD or growing like plants for that? And it was like, well, you can't sell to anybody under the age of 18. You can't sell to military athletes or anybody that has to take a drug test. You can't sell to pregnant. So you lose half your market. Plus, there's a 50-50 chance that the product might not even be legal. So lavender just seemed ideal. And then whenever I started researching, I discovered that, lavender needed poor soil, which we have plenty of poor soil.
Wow.
It doesn't require a lot of fertilizer, so you're saving money there. And that kind of leans on the organicness of it, right? And it doesn't require a lot of water because we have a shallow well. In fact, when we got out here, my kids wanted to play in the well for the first time. The water came out, and then it just kind of slowly went down to where it was just...
The kids were shrinking with the water,
what is
trying
happening?
to get in it.
So we needed a crop that didn't require a lot of irrigation. So it checked all the boxes. In fact, it was like the perfect crop for Florida. I mean, it seemed ideal. Rabbit resistant, deer resistant, pest resistant. It was just amazing. Now, the next question was what lavender does well in the South? And I swear to you, an article, Finally a Lavender for the South, was written by Southern Living. It was talking about a variety called Phenomenal, which was released in 2012 by a guy named Lloyd Traven. Now, he's with Peachtree Farms up in Kinchersville, Pennsylvania. And this variety was cultivated to be grown in humid climates such as Texas, Georgia, and whatnot. And I believe he had sent a plant to a friend of his in Tampa that was potted to see if there was enough cold hours to produce flowers. So at the time, I didn't know that that's the extent of it, because the way the article was written, it sounded like this variety of lavender was being grown throughout Florida. But I couldn't find it at Lowe's, I couldn't find it at Home Depot, you couldn't find it anywhere. So I ordered it, spent about $6,000, which was kind of a hard sale for the family, especially after doing the peaches and everything failing. I mean, I failed 3 times, so 3 strikes you're out type of thing. But I'm like, wait, what about this? So, here you got the gnats, and you're trying to do family bonding time. You're out there trying to love life, and you're like, man, this is going to be great. We're bonding. It's a great experience. And then the gnats come in your eyes and in your ears, and by day's end, you're kind of like,
Grouchy, tired.
you just want to, you're trying not to murder each other, So, she's like, here we go again. So we spent $6,000, and so that someone must have laid an egg. We spent $6,000 and we planted our plants, and then we turned to the state for guidance. And this is where our local extension agent was like, what are you doing? Oh man, you know, like, we don't recommend any lavender cultivars for Florida. And being a new lavender farmer, I didn't really know what that meant. So I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you know, we've always struggled to grow lavender, and there's really no varieties that do well here in Florida. In fact, we struggle even growing it in the greenhouse. And they said the chances or the likelihood of it blooming were slim to none, and the chances of it surviving the summer was almost impossible because of our humid climate. So I asked them, well, what about phenomenal? And their concern was maybe I'd gotten sold, right? So, you know, someone's boasting this variety, but maybe they're just telling you something so that you buy it. They weren't sure how well it would do, and so they had to reach throughout the state to see if anybody had tried to grow this variety. Come to find out, nobody had heard of it, nobody had grown it yet, so it was brand new. Now this is where there was kind of a shift in the winds. It would be like if you were in college and you went to a class to learn, and instead of going to learn, you end up becoming the teacher, right? And you're completely unprepared. And now all of a sudden everybody's eyes are on you, and you're way outside your comfort level.